Hi folks, welcome back. Something interesting happened to me at work last week, which made me think about essentially the wider context of this, and and something that actually is quite important. I was having discussions with someone who I could have been working with from a different company, and yet could have benefited our learners. And I was having this discussion, and I was feeling like everything was going really well. I was getting what they were saying, I was engaging with it, and I came away sort of feeling quite like, yeah, energized. I can see this working. And yet there was some sort of niggling doubt in my mind. I was like, there's something that's not right. What is it that's not right? And I was sort of thinking, okay, there's nothing wrong necessarily with the proposal. There's nothing wrong with the company itself. And it hit me. I was I was picking up on the fact that the person who I was having this meeting with reminded me of the people who I have worked with in the past who have been extremely toxic, extremely detrimental to my mental and physical health, quite frankly. And I sort of thought, whoa, okay, I can't work with this person. But why did I not pick this up before? What was it that essentially led me to think things were going great to begin with? And I thought about this, and then I came to the conclusion that what it was that it was familiar. I'd spent a lot of time in a lot of jobs working with people who made me feel small, who didn't respect me, and it's become very familiar. And, quite frankly, there is comfort in familiarity. And it was sort of a, oh, okay, right, that's quite big moment. And it got me thinking, we often talk about, say, the grass is greener on the other side, better the devil you know, i.e., you should kind of stick with what you know rather than taking a risk on something new. And at the same time, there are other phrases or whatever out there, other suggestions that you should take risks. But thinking specifically about this idea of what's comfortable, what's familiar. Just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's safe. Just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's good for you. Even if it's actually quite reassuring at the same time. Better the devil you know is actually, that's kind of concerning when you think about it. It's like, I'm going to put up with all of this because I know how to deal with it. It's like, yeah, but you could do so much better. And it's that, I suppose it's a reminder that there is a risk involved with getting outside your comfort zone, but actually you shouldn't stick with things just because they're familiar and just because you know what you're going to get, which gives you a sort of it gives you a false idea of control over your situation, because like, oh, I know how to deal with this. It doesn't give you actual control, it doesn't give you actual agency, and it doesn't give you the actual ability necessarily to improve your situation. And in a sense, I guess I could have just sleepwalked into this, and gone with what I felt was familiar and thought, oh yeah, that feels great, if I hadn't stopped and thought about what I was actually responding to, and that something in my psyche was going, this is familiar, this is good, before my logic could go, no, it's familiar, but it really isn't. So I guess the takeaway message from this is, it's always worth checking yourself. Why does something seem like a good idea? Why does something feel good? Is it actually genuinely good for you? Is it going to further you and your well-being? Or is it just that you know what you're going to be dealing with, and that's kind of making you feel a kind of false kind of cozy. Something to consider, something to work on, and hey, you know, this is still quite fresh to me as well, so I'm not saying I've got all the answers, but I'd love to know what you think. Any thoughts or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and see you next time.